Peyton, how you doing? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your work. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through the presentation. We'll take a look. There are some missing elements here. We'll take a look at those, define those. I'll describe those, and then we'll just take it from here. At this point, though, I just want to say that I do know that the project is a little bit difficult to understand at first. Typically, students by week 2 or so, they start really wrapping their heads around exactly what is expected. So week 1 is usually a week of confusion, and I think that this class is no exception. I think basically once we understand that project 1 is the process book and project 2 is the actual user prototype, all the work involved in developing the user prototype, wireframe sketches, etc., etc. Project 2 is the actual design of the prototype. Project 1 is the design of the process book associated with the work going into the prototype. I think once we make those distinctions, I think the rest kind of falls in place. So, but I do want to say there are some things missing. So I'm going to tell you what's missing, and then I'm going to give you some examples. So what do we have? So we take a look at here's what we have. So we have ideation on the problems that could be solved by the mobile app. Define your problem the application is trying to solve. Okay, that's step 1, right? Then in this particular week 2 mobile app prototype begin stage, we're looking at establishing a persona. I recommend 3 personas and at least 1 scenario. We have create wireframes and sketches of all screens, create a storyboard of the scenario. Where is the user when they are confronting and overcoming the problem using your app? And then we have create paper prototypes. So I take a look at your presentation here, and basically what we have here is we have a little bit of a scenario here, but we don't have what we really need. So basically in week 1, we were looking at this. We were looking at ideation of the problem, defining the target audience, the 3 main functions of the app, and the competition. So basically what we're looking for here is you've got your target audience, you've got your 3 main functions, and then you have your competition. So that's all from week 1, right? So in week 2, we still need to do the brief statement of the ideation, defining the problem. The app is trying to solve, and the ideal user, okay? Then we need to establish personas. We need to establish wireframes, storyboards of the scenarios, and a scenario based on the personas. I recommend 3 personas, and then create paper prototypes. So we don't have that here. We just go straight from ideation, basically the stuff we set up in week 1, to ideation for week 2, and then straight to these wireframes. Now, I do want to mention that the wireframes aren't complete. I don't think this doesn't depict every screen in the app, right? Right now, this just depicts, I'm going to zoom in, you won't see this on your end, but you have sponsored pets and pets near you, okay? And then you just go straight to the kind of animals, and then just listing the kind of animals and rest of the screens. So what happens when we pick snake? Where do we go from there? What screen does it show? What are our choices there? And then from that screen, where do we go from there? What are our choices with the next screen? So you really want to sketch out all of the screens associated with the app. Now, I know that sounds like a daunting task, and it is, because right now we're at a critical point in this assignment where we're really starting to lay the groundwork that is going to definitely be responsible for the ultimate success of the app. So let me show you an example of what we're looking for this. I'm just going to go back to the top here. This is the Waste Not app. Now this is available for you to review in the week 2 examples in the course announcements. But anyway, so here's the problem, and this is from the top, right? The problem, the solution, 3 main features and functions, target market, demographics, needs, behaviors, values. Then we have competition, pros and cons. Then we have the personas, defining the person who might be using the app. Okay, here's 2, there's 3 personas. Then we go to the scenario. This is the scenario right here. Now, this is a situation where the viewer, the user might be, or what situation is happening to the user when they're confronted with a situation where they can overcome the problem by using the app. Okay, so basically the scenario should be based on what? The persona, right? So you can take the individual from a persona, okay, and then create a scenario from this. Basically, a scenario is making a connection between the persona and the app. So why does this person need this app, and what does it benefit and find its situation calls for in using the app? Okay, so that is the scenario. So once you're done with your personas and scenarios, we get into wireframe sketches. These are wireframe sketches. Note, it's a sketch of each single frame of the app. I think there's 9 or 12 of them here. And this is where planning really comes in. I mean, really comes into play, is planning out the wireframe sketches. This is the app right here. Okay, from this point, we go to the scenario. I already talked about that. These are paper prototypes. So it's basically, it's each screen in the wireframe that's kind of separated from the wireframe and assembled, cut it out, and then you have your user interface phone over where you place it over each individual screen represented by the wireframes. Then you do your user testing from there, right? Now, there are videos in weeks 1 and week 2 depicting the testing stage. Specifically, you want to take a look at week 2. And the announcements area and all of the course resources. There are some wonderful resources there depicting this testing stage, so you understand how the wireframes transpose into paper prototypes, which you use for testing. Okay, really, really important step in the process. So we hear screen after screen after screen of these user, I think, as I said, I think there's 12 total screens. And in the user testing stage, what you would do is you would just ask the user a question. Okay, so where would you click to set up a profile? Or what's the first thing we should do? Set up a profile. They would look at the screen and they would press where they think, or point to where they think they would make their selection to open the screen, to create a user profile, right? And so on and so forth. All right, that's the user testing stage. So in your presentation, we're falling short in that we don't have, this is a basic scenario, but we don't have personas. We need at least 3 personas, okay? And here's a nice scenario. So this is a family. So maybe one of your personas could be this new family that you talk about in this scenario. Okay, then we need wireframe sketches of all screens. And then we need a storyboard of the scenario, okay? And then we need to create paper prototypes and photograph those so that we know that we are ready for testing, okay? If you have any questions, and don't feel bad right now. I mean, it is difficult. It's confusing as heck. There's a lot thrown at you guys in the first 2 weeks. That's why I'm here. I'm here to sweep up things, clean up messes, and really get this to a point where you completely understand it. So that said, if you don't understand anything here, let me know quickly. Because this week, I mean, we're really moving now. We're going to be starting user testing here quickly. So we've got to really get this set. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or clarifications. And again, just want to reiterate that there are examples in the course announcements. So you definitely want to use those to your advantage. Okay, Payton, great start. Thank you very much. And again, any questions or clarifications at all, now's the time. Let's get those put to rest quickly so we can continue on concentrating moving forward. Thank you very much, Payton.